All right, I have done so many videos on this channel about different studying techniques / study habits. So I figured today, why not just rank them all? Because then that gives you guys like a list of what actually works. I mean, all of them work, but just in terms of like what works the best, I'm gonna be ranking them based off of what works for me and what I think is most applicable to everybody. I mean, obviously something might work better for you than it does for me or somebody else watching this video, so take everything with a pinch of salt. Also, my fan in my room, like the air conditioner, is on and I can't turn it off because the university like keeps it on. So if you hear that, I tried to switch over to this mic, but sorry if it's there. Also, I'm trying to hit 400 subscribers and I'm only 3 away. So if you guys could please subscribe, that would mean the world to me. Seriously, it means so much whenever someone subscribes or leaves a like or comments or anything like that. I love seeing all of that. I love seeing that you guys like what I'm posting and that's actually helpful. So please, please, please leave feedback down below. Leave a like, leave a dislike if you don't like the video, subscribe if you really love it. Thank you so much. Let's get into it. Okay, the first one I have, and this is one that I kind of advocated for at the beginning of my time here on this channel. It's the writing down approach is what I call it. This is literally exactly as it sounds. You just take a piece of paper and a pen and you look at some slides or like a PowerPoint and you just write down everything from the course. And while this does help more than typing everything out on a computer, I think in terms of study strategies that I've gone over, it's not the most effective at making you remember what you're writing. This really only works if you do it like 1,000,000 times. Like if I'm writing something down, you really have to write it down 2 or 3 times before you actually remember it. And if you like doing that, if you like having pages and pages of notes that you've written and rewritten, great. If that works for you, awesome. But I think just in terms of being able to apply to everybody, I don't think it really works that well.
I also just got a new shirt for my mom for Easter, so let me know what you guys hashtag do you like the mom shirt or I don't like the mom shirt. Boom.
And also, when you write down notes, it's kind of hard to go back and review later. I mean, this is a strategy that I still do a lot with all my classes, but it makes it really hard to go back through the notes and read them because I have a hard time reading notes and remembering it. Like I have to write it down again if I'm reading it. So I'm putting that one at number 5. I'm doing 5, by the way. 5 things. Number 4 on this list is gonna be the outline model, and I'm sure that this is another one that you guys do a lot. It's kind of like the writing down approach, but with this one, you have, let's say, a spot where you put the title or the keyword, and then you have a bunch of bullet notes or bullet points under it, where you just write everything about it. Yes, that is more helpful because it makes it a little bit more organized, so you can find things, and it makes it a little bit more structured, so you can kind of have that mental map in your mind. But the cons with this one is that if you're bad at making your notes look good, it might be harder for you in the future to look back on and study because the outline method really relies on having notes that are fully fleshed out and look great, and that way you can look back on it easier to find notes that you might need before the test. This isn't something that works well for me because while I do like bold the keywords in my notes and everything, I really like to have like full sentences describing what it is because I feel that bullet notes, although they can be really helpful when you're just quickly jotting down things while listening to the lecture, I feel like they don't fully close in on the idea of the keyword or the idea that the lecturer was trying to give. So for me, it just doesn't really work all the time. For actually studying and for taking real notes, I don't think this really qualifies it. That's why I'm putting it at 4 out of 5. Number 3 is mind mapping. I'm sure everyone has done this in 8th grade. I mean, it's a pretty classic one where you do one huge circle in the middle and then you branch off in all these different ways with little circles and little explanations here and there. This one is great if you take the time and you have a huge sheet of paper and you actually think about it and you map it out before you do it. I know you're mapping out the mind map, but when you actually think about it and spend time and effort into this, it can be one of the most effective studying strategies ever. But for me, I like to take all of my notes during the lecture and maybe after the lecture. You know, I don't like to take too much time to think about how I'm gonna prepare my notes, like presenting them. If you can memorize the mind map while you're doing it, it can be really helpful to recall while you're in the test and just being like, okay, I'm trying to think about Charles Darwin right now, and I know that he was talking about this theory that on my mind map was over here. Anyways, the mind map, I'm putting it at 3 out of 5 because I think that it's a little clunky if you're trying to do it while taking a lecture. And I think it's just a little time consuming for something that doesn't work quite as well as number 2 or number 1 on this list. At number 2, you guys might be surprised by this. Some of the people that have already heard of this, but Cornell Notes are going at number 2 for me. In all honesty, Cornell Notes are not that much different from outline notes. They just force you to make your notes organized. And I think that that has such an advantage over the outline maneuver, over the outline method. Essentially, Cornell Notes, you put the keywords in one column and then some summary terms or phrases in the next bulkier column, and then in the bottom you have a summary, which is just of the entire lecture and everything that was going on. And this makes it super easy for you to find terms that you were looking for, but it also makes it easier for you to review lectures rather quickly because all you have to read is that summary down to the bottom. And it is very effective. I've used it a few times in longer lectures. I think it works great, but for me, it's just not the number one. All right, and ending at number one, I have the active recall method. I know you guys have heard this literally everywhere, and I'm gonna repeat everything that you've probably already heard, but active recall turns notes into questions that you can use to test yourself, and I can't stress enough, amazing, and how much better that is for your mind than just writing something down, rewriting something down, writing something down again. Like asking yourself questions about what you're supposed to know, or having someone else ask you about questions, or explaining what you know to someone is so much better for locking that knowledge in your mind for the test than any other strategy I put on this list, even over Cornell Notes. Like active recall is going to absolutely blow away anything that I said in this video. So I would 100% go check it out. I might have made a video on it. I honestly have made so many studying videos. I don't remember if I made a video specifically for it, but I'll put a card up right here so you guys can go check that out. The only cons to this is that it might be a little tricky to get at first because it doesn't really feel like you're actually studying, and it can also be a little bit challenging to try and retrieve the memory. I guess challenging and frustrating would be a better word, because you might not get it at first. You might have to look back at your notes a lot, but eventually you're gonna see it start to snowball, and it's gonna become a lot easier for you to recall that memory. And I think it has the overall most success in terms of my studying habits and my ability to perform on a test from a study strategy that I used. So that's why I'm putting it at number one. Those were my 5 best study strategies, ranked from worst to best. And honestly, all of these strategies are very good. I use number 5 all the time when I'm in class. Like I just scribble down notes as incomplete or as complete as I can, and then after class I might go back and, you know, re-edit them a little bit if I can remember what was going on. I really think that all those study strategies are going to be the most helpful for you. Try one. If that one doesn't work, maybe a different one would. Maybe the active recall doesn't work for you at all, but the first strategy where you just write and rewrite does work for you. Just give them all a try. Let me know down below what works best for you. And if you have any questions about anything high school or college related, please let me know. I'd be happy to answer, and I'll see you on the next one.